Indeed,
All right.
dangerous.
That's all. That's
right.
pretty much all I needed to know, man.
Okay, let's rock and roll, baby.
Yeah.
Hello,
Cool.
and welcome to the Rock Metal Podcast. I am your host, John Harris, and today on the Rock Metal Podcast, we have CATHARTIC DEMISE, and they have a new album called In Absence, which is releasing on April 9th. Right now, I'm being joined by Angus to share some more information about this release, a couple of tracks, a couple of videos. Yeah. Angus, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on here, man.
Absolutely great to have you on. Now, if I understand correctly, you're calling from Kitchener?
Yeah, that's correct.
Sweet.
Ontario.
Yeah. One of my favorite areas of Ontario is Waterloo, Kitchener. What's the other city?
Cambridge.
Yeah.
Cambridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually used to spend a lot of time.
Tri-City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, nice area. You're like far enough away from Toronto that you don't have to think about it, but close enough that if you had to go, you could get there.
Oh yeah, it's roughly just about an hour. It's not that far. So yeah, but like you said, it's nice to be kind of far from it, but not too far.
Yeah. Groovy. Now, this album, In Absence, take us through this track. What are we in absence of? Is it a theme? Is it a concept?
No, not really. Honestly, man, I couldn't tell you the lyrical concept behind In Absence. I never really actually discussed that, but as far as like a whole concept, are you talking like concept record?
Yeah, like, I mean, obviously you just mentioned you don't know much about the lyrics, but is there a story that connects the songs? Is it about something?
No, it's not a concept record, but no, I'm honestly not too sure what the lyrics are about for that one.
Okay, because I was gonna ask questions about this super ominous, dark, creepy artwork that's really, really beautiful. You know, and what the connection is to all of this. But do you know anything about the artwork then, Angus?
Yeah, so basically, the concept behind the whole artwork, we didn't really know what we wanted for an actual album art. But when we gave it to the artist, we just gave him the lyrics and just gave him the actual music, and we're like, just kind of put the picture to what you hear or like what you see in your head when you listen. So he kind of just came up with a whole kind of atmosphere for it.
Okay, you give him the whole album or just a couple of tracks?
I believe it was just like a couple of tracks and just some lyrics, and he kind of got an idea in his head what to put down.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, no, it's some pretty cool, brutal stuff you guys have got going on there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now, I imagine you can't talk about lyrics, but drums. Take us through the production of the drums on this record.
Production of the drums?
Yeah.
Talking about sound-wise, sorry?
Yeah, sure.
Kind of,
sound-wise, yeah, what were you trying to get out of I guess the question is, as a drummer, what were you looking to do with the songs?
Well, as far as what I do with the songs, I kind of just, when I hear the demos that are demoed out, I just kind of, I listen to them a bunch of times, and I kind of just hear in my head what, how I would play them. And then I just kind of apply it down to the drum kit. But as far as actual sound, like in the studio, I was just trying to get like a nice natural drum sound, really. Something not too, I find kind of drums sound very computerized nowadays. I kind of want it as natural as possible. Mm-hmm. But of course, tight,
Yeah. How did you go about approaching that? Did you chat with like the engineer and say, no samples, no quantizing? Like, how did you approach a more natural sound?
Well, yeah, we actually, as a matter of fact, when we actually went in and did this album, we all had ideas of what we wanted for sound-wise. So one thing I did was, there's really not a lot of sampling. I said, keep the toms natural and the snare drum. But of course, I use triggers on my kick drums. I'm like, that's pretty much the only thing that's going to sound fake is kicks.
Yeah.
But I did one thing where I took the resonating heads off my toms, the skins that are on the bottom of an actual tom.
Yep.
just kind of get a little bit more of a dead sound, and it actually turned out pretty great. So yeah, I had an idea of what I wanted for drum sound.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So then is your kick drum like totally packed full? Like you just bounce off of it kind of thing? Or
no, it's not actually packed full with blankets or anything. I just got a couple pillows in them, and that's about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Pretty much.
Triggers.
Sorry.
I'm always curious when metal drummers are using triggers on their kicks, and there's different reasons. Sometimes it's packing it full so that you can get more bounce off of the skin.
Well, yeah, that is a thing. Also, too, just because it's also for like misfire of triggers, because that can happen as well too.
Yeah.
So like if they're packed super tight, the chances of any kind of misfiring of the triggers won't happen either.
Right.
Right. But yeah, bounce. But yeah, for a lot of bounce too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Did you guys do live off the floor, or did you do drums by yourself to like scratch tracks?
Yeah, pretty much just drums by himself with scratch tracks. Okay. Nothing was live off the floor.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All through the pandemic, you guys do this?
No, actually, trying to remember. I think it was actually the first week of January of 2020 when we stepped into the studio and started doing this record. And then, of course, that takes about a couple months to complete with all the tracks and editing and mixing and getting it mastered. And for some reason, I think the week when we first went into lockdown, March 2020, I think was when we got all the whole album back, like the finished product back.
Yeah.
So then we sat on it for about almost a year because we didn't really know what to do with it.
How did you guys end up deciding to, I don't know, do something with it? What was the decision there?
Well, at first, like I said, we didn't know what to do with it. So I kind of just thought, well, there's obviously going to be other albums coming out like during this pandemic. So kind of just see what happens with that. And then, just came to the assumption. It's just like, let's just put it out, Yeah. It's just like, fuck it. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a way to put it, my friend. I'm actually watching a music video right now for Power.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing you guys did this video in and around pandemic stuff, or was this video shot before that?
No, it was during the pandemic. It was in July of last year of 2020. Mm-hmm. It was in the middle of the summer because that was when we were. Well, I mean, we knew regardless we were going to release this thing. It was just a matter of how we were going to do it and what. But yeah, it was. Yeah, it was in July when we did it.
Okay, probably why you guys look a little sweaty. Nice warm day.
Oh man, yeah, it was brutally hot in that fucking room. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh man, it was so hot that the guitar player, his locking lugs or whatever on his Floyd Rose, they're gone. He's missing his pieces.
I didn't even notice, but if that's a thing, then yeah, probably.
Whoa, boom. Okay, is that the drum kit actually that we're hearing on the record? The one that's in this music video?
Yeah. Yep, it is.
Cool. For Power, why this song to get the music video?
Because, well, it's one of the shortest tracks on the album. We do have longer songs. We kind of decided on, for a video to have a shorter song. And plus, too, it's like, we thought it was a good kind of introduction for a single, right? Like for a video. It's the first track. It gets the point across. We just thought it was perfect for it, Yeah, we just thought it was the perfect one for a video.
Okay. Are you getting good traction off of this track? Was your assumption correct?
Was getting good traction?
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems to be. Yeah, people are digging it. I mean, I kind of thought that people would dig it, but now I'm kind of seeing like comments and stuff like that from people, and it's a lot of people are actually really loving it. So yeah, it's kind of a surprise in a way too.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's getting good.
I'm looking at some of the comments right now, and somebody from Lithuania said this is insane, and they gave a heart and lots of exclamation points.
Yeah, like yeah, it's cool to see stuff like that, man. I didn't think people were gonna love it that much. Like I honestly didn't think.
Yeah. What's it like when somebody from across the world watches a music video that you've done, and hears it, and says, "This is fantastic"?
It's it can be a little hard to like wrap your head around, right? Like it's a little hard to like kind of comprehend, but I don't know. At the same time, it's just so fucking cool. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
It's like you saw that and you're not even like from anywhere near me. It's like, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
I know.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, so we chatted about the album In Absence. We chatted about For Power. We chatted about recording your drums. Did you do anything else different? Like, did you try different heads or different cymbals?
No, I didn't actually. I mean, I use Zildjian. That's what I like to stick with. So I just use those and use the Evans heads because I always used Evans and can't go wrong with them. It was just a matter of another thing I will mention too is like experimenting with different room mics as well, like adding more so. Because you know, like you mic up a whole drum kit, you also have overhead mics. So the guy that did it, Jonah, I said to him, I was like, why don't we add some more room mics to get some more, I don't know, ambience in the room and kind of make it sound a little bit bigger. I mean, it wasn't done in a professional studio.
Okay.
So you can only work with so much, right? In fact, actually, this album was done in the same building as our rehearsal space.
Okay.
The guy has like a space / studio, so it's kind of a smaller room. But yeah, it was just kind of, it was actually some experimenting for the drums, really, for like the actual sound of it. Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you guys are playing so fast, I don't know how much room mics would help. But
Well, and then, yeah, that was also kind of a thing too. But I mean, it certainly helped just to get that extra sound, you know?
yeah,
Make it.
a little bit of glue to blend in.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, then if it's not a good sounding room, you don't want that either.
Yeah, no, yeah. But I mean,
yeah.
kind of learn though, you can kind of make it sound good though.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
Kind of amazing how technology is now.
There are ways. I don't think anybody wants to know. It's like finding out Santa Claus isn't real, but there are ways. Angus.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Very cool. Blade in the Dark was another track off of the record. That sounds kind of ominous. I was going to ask if you know what it's about, but I guess you don't. But what can you tell us about this track from your perspective, Blade in the Dark?
Blade in the Dark?
Yeah.
My perspective from it?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I actually never thought of that before. I don't know. Help me out a bit. I'm kind of struggling with this one, man.
It's okay. Maybe even from like the way you're playing the drums to like, was it just like one studio setup and you banged out the whole record, or were there any considerations for different songs? Anything that you may have changed in the moment?
No. As far as like, you know, tracking wise, I just went in like and just did the songs like the way I would play them. Like we were actually pretty well rehearsed. I didn't really do anything different with them.
Okay.
If that's what you're looking for.
Yeah. Are you, with the way things are, and as of the time of recording this in Alberta here, we just went back into lockdown, and I just read that Ontario's gone back into lockdown. So I imagine there goes our summer.
Yep.
What are you guys planning to do? What are you guys planning to do instead? Are you working on a new record, or?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's talks of like doing like a couple of different things, and I don't know, like talking about possibly doing like a live stream show, but I think they canceled that on us too
Oh no.
for going to like. Don't quote me on that. I think I read an article about going to a live venue to do a live stream. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I mean, we'll be working on a new record. So there is like I will say there is like some new songs that are being demoed out right now, but nothing's been. It's the very, very early stages of it. So yeah,
Okay.
there'll be a record that'll be worked on this year.
Cool. All right then.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I believe that's all my questions. Is there anything that you wanted to chat about, Angus?
Not really. No, I think we covered a good, solid little things. The record's out tomorrow. That's pretty much all I can say. That it will be released tomorrow.
Cool. Self-released or on a label?
Self-released. It is independent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you guys, maybe not with this record, obviously, because it's being released, self-released, but are you guys interested in being on a label, or you want to do the independent thing?
No, we're interested on being a label. Like, we're very interested in that.
Okay.
It's just, yeah. I mean, that's a very big goal for us, definitely.
Cool. So if it's okay, there's a particular label that I work with that obviously doesn't guarantee anything, but if you guys want to get into potential negotiations, I can send your information over to them if that's okay.
Cool, yeah.
Okay. Beautiful. Okay. We've chatted about the pandemic. We chatted about drum production. We chatted about you guys working on a new album. We chatted about album artwork and how you guys gave the dude some tracks and said, blow your mind out on this thing. And he came up with that, which is cool. For Power, Blade in the Dark, music video in a sweaty shed or someplace.
Yeah, it was actually done. It was actually done at a local music venue called Maxwell's in town. Yeah, some big bands have actually come and played there before. It's a nice venue, actually. It's one of the only venues that's actually hasn't been shut down around here because a lot of places got fucking closed and just done because of the pandemic. So, yeah, it's the one that's standing. Hopefully it stays.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm sure they appreciated the business that you guys provided for a day.
Yeah. Some other bands have done videos there too, or the time of the pandemic. Do you know Invicta?
Yes.
Have you heard of Invicta?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, their video for Sacred Scourge was done there too, as a matter of fact.
Cool.
You should check it out. Those guys are fucking awesome.
I will.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on to the Rock Metal Podcast today, Angus.
Hey, man. Thanks a lot for having me.